Now, my father, it's a very long story. He was born in Kovel, which was Poland at the time. Now it's Ukraine. And he was preparing to, in a Zionist youth movement, to come to Israel. And he was in a group, they call it Hachshara. His name is Tzvi Netzer. At the time it was Melnitzer. And they were preparing in Warsaw, in a camp in Warsaw, to come to Israel. And when the war started, the Germans entered Poland. They decided the whole Hachshara camp to run away to the east, hoping that the Red Army would stop the Germans. And there was a big story. He was asked to bring money to the Soviet Union. He was caught. He was sentenced to gulags in Siberia. A great, what a story. He survived Siberia. And in 1941, when Russia joined the Allies, all the political prisoners were allowed out of the prison. So he was political. So many Jews fled from Poland to Russia and Soviet Union, and found themselves in Siberia. So they moved down to the warmer countries. And he did all this huge, long way in Russia to what they call the Asian Russia, the Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, the Stan countries. And he fled from Azerbaijan as a stowaway on a ship to Tehran on the Caspian Sea in a barrel. And there he joined the Israeli emissaries to Tehran who were taking care of Jewish children from Poland who were sent to Tehran with the Russian army. There was a Russian army that was going to fight with the Allies against the Germans. And they took Jewish children. So the Jewish children were taken out of the Catholic camps, were lured out. And he worked with them and came to Israel as a really Hollywood story, dressed as a British officer. He didn't know a word English. And he joined my mother, whom he knew in Poland, and they married. And 2 years later, in Tehran, he met Shaul Avigur, who was the head of the Mossad, L'Aliyah Bet, the Mossad. And Shaul Avigur met him in Tehran, and 2 years after he came to Israel in 1943, in 1945, Shaul called him, not only him, people whom he chose very particularly, to please go back to Russia and head the Bricha there. And emissaries from Israel, like my father, he was from Poland, he was sent to Poland. A Jew that came from Czechoslovakia was sent to Czechoslovakia. One from Austria that knew the country, knew the customs, knew the language, was sent to head the Bricha in that country. So my father became the head of the Bricha in Poland. And in Poland, it was all the Jews that ran away from Poland to the Soviet Union could come back only through Poland. So there was an agreement between Stalin and the Polish government that Poles who fled from Poland to Russia could go back to Poland. So Jews, about 80,000 Polish Jews returned from Russia, all of them to Poland. So through the Bricha's hand, my father's hands, went about close to 200,000 people. And they moved, one route was through in the north to Germany, in Szczecin, a Polish town, to Germany. And it was a British zone, under British zone. And the other route was south to Czechoslovakia. And from Czechoslovakia to Austria to a Russian zone. That was the route. And from the Russian zone to the American zone. Germany and Austria were the Central European countries where the DP camps, the displaced persons camps, were set.